Welcome to the Seven Crosses series for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, and we're picking up on the 4th of August 2006. And what I want to do in this video is focus on at least planning out my chemical industry, because this will be the next big step towards becoming self-sufficient. But before that, I'd like to say a big thank you for your comments and feedback. As usual, you guys give me so much to think about. And one of the things I do like about your comments is when you point out problems which I've overlooked, and these are often problems which could very quickly build into a major problem if not dealt with early. And to that end, what I've also been doing between videos is checking the entire economy in a bit more detail, looking for potential weaknesses. And I found a couple related to heating. If I come down here, you'll see that I've actually now planned another heat exchanger, which is attached to the geothermal plant up over here, simply because I noticed that, where is it? It's this heat exchanger here. You can see it's running at 101% with a 400% overload. So this area here has the potential to suffer from lower temperatures due to that overload. So what I've done is I put this heat exchanger in. I also found a heating problem in Colville on this corner here, and again, if I can find the heat exchanger, I think it's here. You see this one's running at 98% with 256% for connected buildings. So what I've done here is I've put in a completely new heating system based on wood, because we've got a wood supply there, but this will only supply a single heat exchanger because I don't plan to make Colville any bigger at the moment. So that would be enough just to support this corner here should there be a heating problem. And also, if I come up to here, what I've done is I've put in a medium geothermal plant here, which I don't really need at the moment, but I've put in 2 terminals here to provide more balanced heating, and simply because I'm going to actually need to expand this area a little bit more than I originally intended, because I've been looking at my nuclear production over here. Now, in the long term, we're going to build Nuclear City up here, which will provide the full workforce for this area. But what I would like to do is get some surplus workforce in this area here, in, what's it, McGinney, so that we can at least start producing nuclear fuel. Because one of the problems with the nuclear power station is that if for the nuclear power station to run, you've got to produce the fuel. So what I'd like to do is get the fuel production running up in a very minimal level, so that we can stockpile enough fuel cells, so that when we've actually finished the power station here, and of course we'll have Nuclear City built by then, we'll have some fuel to feed into it straight away. So that's something that we do need to consider. Now, down over here, this is my kind of mega construction area, which still needs to be worked on. One thing I did notice was the fact we don't have a rail distribution office, and one thing I want to do is ensure that this area's got its own dedicated distribution office, because we're going to need to bring a lot of resources into this area. I've just noticed that traffic jam. It's a bit worrying. Let's just see. Wow. I think this is because the construction offices are all coming in here for the gravel. So hopefully this will just tidy itself up over time. We're still getting, as long as they don't block the deliveries. How much gravel we got in here? Oh, we'll be okay. It's just a little bit of a problem there. We're still getting some issues with citizens' happiness. This is in the new town up here, and I think part of this is due to the fact that they've got no electronics, or very small amount of electronics. So what I'm hoping is that the happiness will slowly improve over time. And the other area that I've got another little bit of a problem is over here. And that is due to the fact that our education is still slowly being built here. And looks like we're actually going to get a delivery of bricks here and steel. And hopefully that will push this forward a bit. Again, we've got a reasonable amount of workforce in here. We get a delivery of bricks. And how much? You've got 5.6 tons of steel. So what that should do now is push forward once the bricks have been, just speed that up a little bit. And then let the steel get built, delivered. And that there, and then we've got the boards coming in, and that fulfills all the requirements for the boards. Hopefully all we need then is another 7.9 tons of bricks, and then we'll get that school built. And then what that will do is fix the problem we've got with the uneducated workers here, and then we'll get that going. I'm also building these blocks up just to suck up a little bit of the over 21s here. We've got 1,280. I mean, it's going to probably cause a little bit of unemployment, but it's not much I can do about it. I think we've probably got, I mean, we're probably going to need to put more buses here. In fact, I think what we're going to do is add this block to this guy's task list as well. Build that. And then we'll try and balance the workforce correspondingly after that. Now, the chemical industry is going to be a bit of a challenge because, like the nuclear city, I want to build my primary chemical production out here, but that needs a workforce. So I've kind of come up with a little bit of a plan to ease off the demand a little bit, and also so that we can produce some chemicals. And the other thing is, I've also done a calculation that I'm going to need a lot of chemicals and plastics to support the production of electro components, electronics. We've also got vehicle production that needs to be brought online as well. And of course, we got the further complication that eventually, once the new update drops, we're also going to need chemicals for water purification. So going forward, chemicals is going to be quite a big cost or a challenge to deliver in a self-sufficient way. So what I've decided as a stopgap, because it's going to take a very long time to get a city built out here and all the corresponding chemical production. So what I've done is I went through the workshop and I found a mod which I think is acceptable. We come into here, I think it should be, I think it's this one here. What you'll see is this is a chemical factory, but it doesn't need oil directly. What it needs is fuel, bitumen and coal. Ollerton is well set up to deliver those three resources, and more importantly, it's actually got an unemployed workers. Come here, if we find unemployed, we've actually got a fair amount of unemployed people here as well. So what I'm going to consider doing is actually put a chemical industry in here. Now this is quite polluting. So if I show you here, you can see this produces 16.9 tons of pollution as well. And if you compare that with the power station, you can see the power station is you can see the power station is 39.5 tons. And if I find my pollution monitor here, and if we kind of zoom out a little bit, you'll see that the power station is polluting this big area here. We've also got a little bit of pollution down here, you can actually see, but I'm not exactly sure what's causing that, because and I think this is one of the oddities of this game. We've got pollution in this area here, effectively round an indoor swimming pool, and I've got no real idea what's causing that, unless it's this. But as far as I know, this doesn't cause pollution unless it causes noise pollution. Let's just have a quick look. And as far as I know, these don't produce pollution. I've got absolutely no idea why we've got pollution in this area, but well, that's beside the point. But what I'm hoping to do is put these new two chemical factories in here. Now, one of the downsides of this chemical factory, if I show you here, is considering the fact that all its resources either need fuel pipes or a conveyor. This has no conveyor or pipe connections. So this is another reason why I wanted to put it in Ollerton, because if you're going to be using these factories, you've got to have a fairly strong supply in the area. And what I would like to do is push this up as high as I can here, like that. And then I'd like, maybe we could get a little bit of small storage here. don't want that much. I just want enough to. And again, these are chemical factories. I mean, I don't want any storage build up here. And I haven't checked the storage, but I'm going to gamble that. So I don't think we really need that. I think what we just need to do is put in one of these. Let me just see. If I put that in the center there, we could possibly move it. I think we're just going to risk putting in a cargo bay like that. And then factory. If I could get this factory in here like that. Need a free excavator. Come on, game. Why have I got no excavator here? Is that because they're all busy? Yep, I think they're all busy out doing things. Well, we know we can put that there. I just need an excavator to do it. And as I say, we've got no excavator in this area. Probably find all the excavators are out from here. Yeah, they are. So we'll just have to wait on the second one, but that's okay. Because we got to bring in large quantities of coal and fuel by truck, what I'd like to do is put you out like that, and we're going to put in quite a lot of separate roads like this. So you're going to, if you come down to there, so we'll accept those. Of course, we're going to need to get. Actually, we're going to get the heli crews on this. And I want this built with a certain degree of kind of, let's say, priority. Now, the next thing we're going to need is a couple of distribution offices. One to bring the coal down from here. So what we ideally would need is distribution office somewhere here. And of course, we're going to need to bring oil and bitumen over from here. Now we got the have a look here. I mean, we got quite a lot of these guys. They're all parked up, so I think I could probably supply the oil and bitumen, or the fuel and bitumen, using these one of these areas here, because some of these now are effectively becoming redundant, like this one. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we don't need a distribution office for that. We just need a distribution office for coal. Now we've got this coal pickup here, so we've got a drop-off point there. So if I could get in a small distribution office in this area, okay, we won't need many trucks or anything like that. Tell me, if we could get this to go green. Right, we got this green. And put you there. And I know it's a little bit of a run out to there, but well, actually, could I get you in? No, even that's a little bit far. About there. Could we get in? Maybe we could do it with 4 truck tick. 4 here, couldn't we? Distribution office. No, work. Oh, that nearly went green. Oh, look at that. We could get that just squeezed in that corner there. We can get this built. We use this to distribute the chemicals. Get this. Looks like the gravel rush is over now. So, get the road crew out on an assist on this one. So you can. Oh, you've already picked everything up. That's good. So we've got this being built now here. And so what this will do is produce 3.6 tons of chemicals. Ever the eternal optimist. No. Let's have a quick look here. I wonder if we'll be able to level this. I wonder if there's a bulldozer available. But we do level from center. No, no not even a bulldozer available. Okay. Well, we'll fix that later on. So that is kind of so this is going to be one of our chemical production areas. Now over here is going to be the slightly more bigger one. And as I said, well, let me just talk you through it, right? You come over to here, you will see that we've got a production area here that's producing electro components. Now if I show you the vehicles here, and if I show you the template, you can see the amount of plastics used by vehicles is quite small. It's absolutely tiny. Now trains is a slightly different matter. In fact, while we're here, I come into trains. I want to look at train sets. See, train sets need a lot more plastic because they're bigger vehicles. I wouldn't mind. I can't remember what train sets are we using up here. Let me just see. This is the CDEM 475. How much would that cost me? Train set. It's this one here. So a template for this would cost me 30 million. Give me a big chunk of money, but there's part of me that wants to get this production going. I think we're going to go for it, guys. We're going to get you there. Think about get two of them going straight away, and we'll just open up. I don't want it to open it full on it, just enough so that we can start producing some train sets. The reason for that is that we're getting very close to getting this finished, and of course we're also going to need train sets for Nuclear City. So I think 79 million would be quite advantageous, because I'm pretty sure if we come in here and look at the price of a train set, so if we come in here and train set, you can see that these are 2 million each, but when we've paid 30 million, so it won't take long for us to get the money back for the template. And I think this is quite important when it comes to trains. That I know some people say, well, you should be completely self-sufficient, but some of the costs of the trains in this, up here, you've got to ask the question. I mean, say electric locomotives, what we got here, so we're looking at 160. I mean, 94 billion. You'd need a lot of electric locomotives to repay those returns. While we're here, I just want to make a quick shifters at what we got in here. I think I could probably do with moving some of these buses out. Got a bit too carried away with the buses. I'll just move the buses out. What I want to do is get some more snowplows in, ready for the winter. What we'll do now is come all the way over here. Oh, sorry. My momentary distraction made me forget why we actually came over to Stilton. So just come back down to Stilton. You can see here, to make electrical components, we need 1.8 tons of chemicals. Also, although we don't need chemicals to make the electronics, if I come down and show you, to make plastics, we come to, where is it? Plastics plant here. You can see we need 3 tons of chemicals and 27 tons of oil to make 6 tons of plastics. But to do that, we also need plastics for here. So if you think that this electronics assembly hall requires 3 tons of plastics, that means 1 plastics plant here, or the base plastics part, can supply 2 electronics factories, but at the same time it still needs to supply plastics to the electrical components. And you can see that electrical components is 2.3 tons a day. So effectively you're almost on a 1-to-1 ratio, which means that in order to be able to supply the plastics, again, if I come back down to here, just the plastics alone in the standard plastics plant, we would need 3 tons of chemicals for that plastics plant there. And if we come up to here and we come back to the modded factories, and I think we can do it this way. I think let me just see. I don't want the huge one. So 1 chemical factory produces enough chemicals for 1 plastics factory, or the small plastics factory there, which is 3. In fact, it doesn't even produce that much, and that is the modded one. If I go to the base one, you can see that you need a whole array of these just to produce the chemicals. This is the reason why. Now I do have a huge plastics chemical factory here, which you can see produces 5 tons, but the one thing I'm not that kind of excited about with this is the layout of it. I think so this one produces 5 tons using 500 workers, and I mean they're all roughly in the correct ratio, but my instinct is to use this one. The reason I prefer this one over the you can say the standard one or the huge one is that I can actually know how I can do the layout. The actual connections are quite nice, and what I would like to do is I'm going to start and turn this on. This is where I think the new grid feature would be quite useful, and we're going to put a 1 here, and then in the center we're going to need a store. We get into here, storage, we need a fairly large open store. If I can find one. You can see we've got a relatively small open store here, because all we really need here, the chemical plants, is to store the wood, which is, we don't need a vast store here. So what we can do is just put you about there. Now what we do need to do is bring in turn that off so you guys can see. Now what we do need is a fairly big warehouse for the crops, and for of course the chemicals coming out. And if I can find the one I'm looking for, let me just see. Never find it. It might be up here actually. I keep meaning to put it on here. I think this is the one here. Yeah, this is the one here. So we're gonna put you just in between like that. Take out that connection there because we don't need it. Remove you. Go back to the factory. Actually, no, go in this way. Then you need it. We need this one come in that side like that, so that we've got the corresponding connection on this side. In fact, we could probably get it just like that. That puts the 2 oil connections and the gravel connection at the top like that. As I say, the warehouse at the bottom will be for the crops, that we can put you in there. So that together produces, again, just to recap, we come in here. This will produce 5.4 tons of chemicals, which will be enough for 1 plastics factory, or just under enough. So what we need to do now is come in here. Okay, I'm just going to switch this on. It makes sense in a little while. Rain tools. We're going to play. No, don't. pick up the rail line, and we'll just put you. I'm gonna leave a big enough gap between them in case I want to put a road in, and we'll put another one here. That gives me 2. I don't doubt very much we'll get another one that way, but what I am considering, I can't get one there. Okay, we may have to work around this a little bit. I thought I'd worked it out, but maybe it's not. Well, I think what we'll do is we'll just work with these at the moment. So we've now got this area here. We've got 4 chemical factories here, which we need to integrate into our oil supply here. Now, something else that's occurred to me is that I'm building all this fuel depot stuff up here, but I'd like to be able to get fairly large quantities of fuel into this area so that we can both supply the fuel to the town. There's also potential that we can supply fuel down to here. So what I'm considering is that we're going to put a fuel drop-off depot here so that half of the fuel to here could be supplied. The alternative is that we actually bring the rail line in and up to here and put a fuel drop-off depot here, but then I would have to rework this, although that would make quite a big difference. Let me just see if I can strike the rail track off here. So we got a little bit of a gap here. The only problem is with the rail, so we came off here, and this is long enough. We came up to say about here, and then I could take away some of this stuff here, which is a little bit of a mess. We could put a fuel distribution office here, which will allow the fuel to be supplied to our ports, and it will also act as a fuel connection into this area because we got our highway there. In fact, if we could bring it up to say about here, we could always run a pipeline down into this area. I think that might work actually. So just come in here. If we can take the track off of here, and let me just see if I can put in. I'm looking for a fuel loading unloading depot. Say somewhere about here. In fact, I'm a bit tempted to come so that, yeah, I think if we can come to about here like that. Actually, no, we can come to about here and run off. I'm gonna make this a little bit complicated with respect to getting this built, but we can take this off here like that. I should have thought about this earlier. Run this line through here, and hopefully this will run. Luckily we've got a small construction office nearby, so can you run into there? Yep, good. And hopefully this will run alongside, and you will run into there. Well, we put a fairly generous crossover in there. So we've now got this connected up to here. We can, I mean, we could probably go gravel road here because, well, because technically this has no reason whatsoever to be connected to anything because we're not going to pick up anything from here. We can probably run gravel road back down this way. Go around like that, because the fire support in this area is provided by the what we call it, the fire station there. So just accept the rail track. Well, what we'll probably have to do is possibly temporarily suspend this, because actually, because I don't think we've got a cross. I think I've removed the crossover along here now. So we may have to kind of gerrymander the actual track laying here. So we have to probably have to put a little crossover here, but then we'll have to build it. I'll think about it, guys. I think I'm kind of half tempted to cheat a little bit and just build maybe a short section, put the crossover in, and then get the rail construction officers to do what's left. And then what we'll do is we'll pick up the, where's the pipe work, and how far away. We run this to say about here. What's the, we've got an outline pipe there, so we put in a fuel tank there. We can, because this will pump the fuel into there, pretty sure it will. I don't think we need an intermediate. I can never remember. So we got this here, and what we can do is put a pipeline. We can put an loading station in here. This will allow trucks to pick up. It's going to put a certain amount of length in there so these guys can come in like that. Now, the next thing we're going to need to do is kind of tidy all this mess up a little bit. We've got this pump here. I think we can keep this pump. We probably don't. But get rid of you. Get rid of you. Get rid of you. Don't need to build it. Come out this road here. Get rid of you. Well, I need to get rid of that pipeline there. We'll leave this pumping station in here. Get rid of you. Get rid of you. Get rid of you. Probably don't need this road, but it's only a gravel road, so it wasn't much of an investment. So we'll trim that back to there. And what we got to do now is connect this fuel pipe thing up to the there, up back down to here, so we can put fuel directly into this port here. In fact, I'm very tempted to go underground, so that maybe we'll go overground with the pipe here, then we'll go underground with the pipes to supply the oil which is imported. So because we've already got potential crossovers here, yeah, I think these pipes will go overground. And then you can only run up about as far as there before it says pipeline too long. So we're looking at that little tree here, and what we're looking at is a pipeline there. You can come into there, and then we'll run. We've got another one is just by that yellow tree there. So we'll have to. Oh, that one's actually got another pipeline there. So we got a pipeline to there, to there, to there. And we'll probably need another one just in, say, about there. And then we're Front you up there. And so what that will do is we'll just accept that. What that will do is chain in all the pipe supplies to here. Okay, we can just hook these guys in with gravel. Doesn't really... So that will come into there. That will connect into there. That will be connected. We'll just accept that. So what we got now is a fuel distribution center here. And I've just connected that up to the wrong pipeline. Okay, a little bit of a mess up there, guys, but we're okay. Hopefully this will... will come down to there. So we'll have the train deliver the fuel into here. That can then be distributed all the way up to here. And then we've got a pickup point here to send the fuel into this area, should we need it. And I think that will make sense. Whoops. Thank you, game. And I suppose if push comes to shove, we could possibly put another fuel pickup point over here. Should we need to. In fact, what we could do is, let me just check the pipe. Yeah, we've got a break off here now. So if we put other ports in along here, we can run the fuel supply down this way. Because I'll probably, if we're going to export stuff, I mean, the coastline isn't brilliant. But my inclination would be is to put ports along here if we're going to be exporting stuff by ship. But I haven't quite made up my mind what we're going to be doing with that just yet. And what I've done is a change here. I need to think about this rail line. In fact, I think maybe it's time to do my usual rail trick. Where are we? We're lost on the map again as usual. Where's there it is. Just check. Right, this guy's down to 2. What are you building? So you're quite happily building into here. Starting to get fairly close to getting this area finished. This guy, what are you doing? Where are you then? I don't understand why you've got an unfinished. Oh, you must be building this. You're building that, and then you're building that. Do I want to build into here? My inclination is to. No, I do need to finish over here as well, because we got. Where is it? We're building into here. We built through to there. We'll get you working on that bridge there. What I've also done here is I've reworked this area with respect to my coal delivery system so that I can run a steam train through here. Because what we're going to be doing is run a steam train through to the border to pick up tourists as a kind of his heritage line is probably the correct name for it. Right, let's just go over to Stilton. Which is this way. Let's see how things are going. How many lines have we got here? You're down to 2 as well. This guy's quite happily pushing out that way, which is brilliant. I can guess the other one is the guy who is building that. That means that where we need to go is up over here. I think we've electrified all the way through here now. So what we need to do is run this line through to, right, we got a little bit more to build here. I think it's just to electrify this area through here, and then we've got to just tidy up this border, and then hope possibly by next year we'll have an export route to NATO, so we'll be able to export a little bit of steel and make some dollars for other purposes. While we're here, let's see if that train is being produced and whether it's got some workforce in it. There's missing resource steel. Okay, who is? Yeah, I don't think. Right, you need to be added to this side. You can. What these guys can do is deliver the steel to here. I think we've got everything else we need. Mechanical components. You have mechanical components? Yes, you do. So we just need the steel to be delivered into here to get them going. How much steel do you actually need? 53 tons. Wow. I mean, we've still got, steel's actually slowly dropping now. I think that's down to the fact that we are consuming more, and if from construction perspective you can see all the steel's being picked up here. But well, I mean, we still got plenty of scope for expansion, because I think we got ahead of the coal, but the iron is probably, I'm probably going to need eventually to invest in another iron train, because I think I've only got the one on this route at the moment, haven't I? So if we start piling up some money here, what we should be able to buy another iron train, so that would be something that we need to prioritize. Let me just have a little check round and see. Why have you guys got? I don't think you've got. We've got a problem with prefabs. I think it's probably back down to these trains being a little bit overloaded. I think. You just see. Yeah. So what are you guys doing? You're delivering food and alcohol, coal, electronics, food. We've got a prefab train currently unloading. Yeah, he's just delivered some prefabs in here now. So yeah, we got 106 tons of prefabs in there now, so we're good. That should get this guy going. Just go up to here. Oh, I've put a kindergarten in here because we were starting to develop a problem with workers not being able to work due to having children. So that is something else that we need to do. Just want to check over to Ironton. Is the school being finished here? So the school here is now finished, so we need to get this up. I think the loyalty is about 50, but check the loyalty. Yeah, quits over 60% here, 74%. Probably go a little bit higher actually. Maybe push you up to about 60%. What that should do now is fix the uneducated workers problem. Yeah, you can see it's now virtually disappeared. If we come up to here, you see now, due to low education, is down to 79%, and what we got now is roughly about a 2% unemployment at the moment. 19% adults who cannot study. Children who cannot study university is a little bit of an issue, but I'm not too worried about that, because the university is something that yeah, we don't need everybody highly educated anymore. We got this area here. We got a bit of a food issue. Let me just because of course, yeah, we're gonna have to keep an eye on the food situation here, because we're probably starting to tax the supply systems a bit now. You've got 2.7, and let's get to here and see. We've got no food in the Stilton warehouse. Okay, that could be a problem. Let me just see. Oh, isn't this game fun? Yeah, we're out of food. Actually, we're getting a bit of a food problem. What is? Oh, it comes 16 tons. Yeah, I've got a feeling that possibly the food supply route this way is a little bit too extended. Let me just check this. We've got 24 tons of food in there. And we've got what you guys are doing. You're delivering clothes. You're the train that's probably on the way back to food. Right, who's bringing food down from up the top there? Let me just see. Of course, we got the. I think it's this one that's bringing the food down. I mean, we got 4 of these guys. Let's go. Let's see what these guys are doing. Let's just go to the. Yeah, I think the problem we've got is that we really need another distribution office up here with food in it. That's gonna be a pain. I think at the moment, just this one is just not enough. So what we're going to need is another 6 distribution office up here. So we got 16 here. How much resources that's going to need? I think we'll go cheapskate, because these can get knocked up very quickly. Because in many ways, these are just how can you say? These are kind of very temporary fixed type things until we've got the rail networks in place. So I don't think there's much point. So if we get that one built, I think I've got. Let me just check again. Over to here. We got some covered holes. There's also a major tower block here. Ison's happiness is too low. Yeah, we're kind of starting to skate a little bit now on a food shortage, which means if we're not careful, we're going to lose population. Yeah, this food's already been distributed. I'm wondering, we need a contingency, I think. So we're gonna put, actually we've already got Stilton on here as just alcohol, haven't we? I'll put you back on that. And what we'll do is this guy can start also delivering food into this area as well for the winter until that supply line is a bit more stable. I think we got a surplus in over here. Let's see. Yeah, when we got surplus food being produced in this area. Yeah, this is staying ahead. We've also got the food coming in from here as well. So hopefully what we'll do is we'll get more food flowing into this area, and then this will make these guys a little bit happier. And I'm aware that I'm running out of time because I'm just recording this just before I've got to actually go out. So let me just come into here. We got this area's been put together quite nicely. Let's have a quick check to see whether a what we call it's become available. So we'll just see. It's unlikely, but we can always try. Oh, look at that, see. We'll just drop you in there. Oh. That gives me the second chemical factory. And I just realised we're going to need a bus stop as well, so I think you can come there. This will bring the coal in. So this will bring the fuel in this side. Let's bring the coal. Actually, we could possibly get you down to there. And the other thing we're also going to need is a bus stop to drop workers off. So let's put you there. Except all the roadworks. And then if we can sneak in some pathways there. There. We can sneak that in as well. Put the helicopter crews on this as well. Get this built as quickly as possible. But so eventually we'll get this built, we'll get this set up, we'll produce some chemicals, the surplus chemicals that or the produced chemicals will be sent to here, and what that will do is allow us to onward ship them across the map using the distribution offices there. But this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. And until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.